guys here again? What? Do you want another podcast episode? Is that why you're back? I don't want to assume, but, since I'm talking to a camera, kind of have to assume that you're back for another episode. So let's get started.
Actually.
All right. I don't know how that looked because I just assumed that I was fully out of frame before walking across. So hopefully mission accomplished. I feel very pretty now because I've painted my nails. I usually do either like long nails because my nails are like super short because they get thin if they're long. So I'm like, I don't like growing them out because they get thin. But if I don't have fake nails on and like long, beautiful fake nails, I like having my hands painted. And I haven't painted my nails in a long time because it's just kind of a lot of work, but it's also not a lot of work. It takes like 10 minutes maybe because I use gel polish, so it cures in like 2 seconds, 30 seconds each hand, and then that's it. And I also painted my toes, but I'm not going to show my feet because you got to pay for that. Everybody always says that, and I've thought about it. I think if I were to sell images of a part of my body, I don't know because I've never done it, but I don't think I would feel that weird sending pictures of my feet. I don't think. Come again, never done it, don't know for sure, but I have a feeling I wouldn't care much. I don't know. I don't really know. Don't know. So I guess we'll cross that field if we get there. Yeah. My fiance and I just got In-N-Out also. We haven't had it in a long time because usually it's not, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but In-N-Out sometimes isn't the most filling. It's just kind of, you eat a burger and fries and then you're still hungry like 5 minutes later, I don't know if that's just us, but typically it's not the most filling. So we haven't gotten it in a while. Usually we'll do the Habit if we want a burger. But I try to cook more just because I like cooking, and it's better to eat when you cook and you feel more fulfilled and the food tastes really, all the things from cooking, duh. But we got In-N-Out, and I said I'm not going to eat before I film because if I eat before I film, I'm going to get really tired. I can't eat In-N-Out during the daytime either because if I eat In-N-Out during the day, I'm going to want to, I'm just laid out. I'm tired. It just makes me feel all like, let's just lay here and watch TV. It just makes me feel tired, and I guess that's because it's In-N-Out. My little sister says it's called In-N-Out because it goes in ya and then out ya, like that. So I'm trying to get the chair comfy. So this week I wanted to talk about, because also sorry for the screaming and the background noise. I can't really do anything about it. The neighbors have kids and they're all playing outside, so hopefully the audio isn't too bad. But this week, because our wedding is coming up literally 1 month from tomorrow, I wanted to talk about how doable it is, depending on the type of wedding you want to have, to plan a wedding in 6 months or less. Because we planned our wedding, he proposed in February, we had our baby in May, and then we started planning, I think by July, maybe? Right? July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, so maybe like July. And it's totally been working out. There have been little parts where I'm like, oh shit, how are we going to do this? Oh God, how are we going to do this? But everything has literally worked out so great. It's like the coolest thing. We found a venue for a very affordable price. We way affordable compared to any wedding venue you'd think. If you're going to rent a banquet hall or something, less than $500 to rent the church and the fellowship hall where we're having the reception. Made the centerpieces myself. I might include a video maybe of what they look like, but maybe not. I don't know. I probably will because they look really pretty and I'm very proud of them. I made them with my bridesmaids and my maid of honor. So basically just my sisters and my one friend, Faith. I have more than one friend, but she's like the best friend, we all made them, and then I had to go make more, and then we elevated them. Originally, they were, so for the listener, not the viewer, for the listener, the centerpieces were going to be on this circular mirrored frame, black circular exterior with a mirror in the middle, and then 3 different leveled wine glasses. So a tall, a medium, and a short. Inside the wine glass is a fake rose. And then on top of the wine glass, we lined the rim or the edge of the cup, because we flip them upside down so that the part you drink out of is on the glass, and then the rose is inside that. So it kind of looks like a snow globe vibe. And then the top has a ring of these really pretty like fake rubies, and then these glass beads. So it's red and white, or red and clear, and then a candle in the middle, and they look gorgeous. So originally they were going to be on these black mirror frame thingies, right? So we finished making them. I didn't get to make any of them because when we made them, the baby was being really fussy. So I just got to hold her and walk around and just kind of watch them make the things, which kind of bummed me out because I love crafting. I'm a very crafty person, which is why I wanted to make the centerpieces. But my older sister found everything at Dollar Tree, which was super cool. So also made us save some bucks. So we finished making them, and I realized that I don't really like the way they look on the mirror. Plus also, okay, we used Gorilla Glue gel. They have a pro tip, pro gel, whatever the heck. And we used that. It reacted to the glass badly. So it like frosted the glass and the mirror. Everything like had this like frosted look after it dried. When we started gluing them, they look great, look awesome, cool, whatever. Then the next day, my sister goes back and looks at them, because we did them all at my parents' shop. And the glasses and the mirror and the stones, everything had like this frosty, like frost look to it, hazy kind of look. So the glass and the glue did not mix, which we didn't know. So my older sister suggested we elevate the centerpieces. I might include the video now instead of before so that it's like more of a reveal. To elevate them, because my parents do custom lighting, they had all these extra, they're like this big around, like this thick, that thick. I'm trying to show the thickness in the round, but it's not working. So they're like this thick, and they're like this big around, maybe like that big around. The kids outside are being insane, so I'm so sorry for the audio. But the wooden pieces were for a job. They ended up getting a bunch extra and not needing them. They have bark on them. They're very rustic looking, and because our wedding's going to be in December, it's going to be a very... Hang on. Holy shit, the kids in the neighborhood are so fucking loud sometimes. It's cool. I love that there's kids that play around and hang out, but damn, they love screaming. What is it with kids and screaming? Anyways, so the centerpieces. We had these pieces of wood, these blocks of wood, chunks of wood with bark and December wedding, rustic vibe. Cool. So my older sister suggested we put the glasses on the wood instead of the mirrored frame thingy. And OMG, it elevated the look by like 10. Like they went from looking like, okay, like Dollar Tree for sure, you could tell, to like, wow, these are actually super freaking awesome looking, because they're on these nice thick chunks of wood. And then my mom came up with the idea to put fresh ivy, because they have ivy growing. My parents have ivy growing through their yard, to put fresh ivy around the pieces of wood once we put them on the table. So around the centerpieces, we're going to have some ivy overlaid. And then my older sister says no, but you know, it's not her wedding. So we're going to do some glitter sprinkled on top, and they just look freaking sick. They look super, super, super nice. They look super nice. And then for the one that's going to be on Alex and my table, because we're going to have our special bridal table, we made it a little bit extra, just, you know, bigger candles, more zhuzh, you know? And to make all of those was less than $150, maybe like 130 for all of those. And I made 12 of them. And there's 3 glasses per centerpiece. So if you like crafting, or if you don't like crafting, I'll do them for you. But if you like crafting, super doable. Making your own centerpieces, especially if you like crafting, because then you can make them how you want. They can look how you want. You can mess around with them. You can play with it. And then it's something that you made. And I'm going to do a little surprise. That's how my little sister used to say surprise when she was younger. She couldn't say surprise, so she'd say surprise. A surprise is at the end of the night, I'm just going to tell everybody to take home a centerpiece. Because there's only 12 of them. We're going to take home ours, and then everyone else can grab one or not or whatever. So that'll be kind of a cool little take-home thing I'm excited to do. Yeah. Yeah, but planning a wedding is doable if you are easy. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a wedding planner. I have friends that are wedding planners. One of my very close friends who is super awesome. She is a wedding planner, and she told me that she's excited to be able to go to a wedding that she's not planning, which I can completely understand because she's slammed all wedding season, which I guess is like beginning of May, end of April, beginning of May until like November, I think, or something like that. Like wedding season, wedding season is long. So she's had weddings every single weekend for months, and she's just killing it. She's awesome. And I've asked her, she's like, if you need anything, let me know. Like if you need any resources or any, extra little things, I have some stuff that I could lend you. So just let me know. And so that's been super helpful and super cool. Alex's cousins have been really helpful. Some of them have things we can borrow for like a picture area and, willing to help us set up the reception. The cool thing about the church that we're going with is it's my little sister's church that she goes to. And they are super easy to work with. Like they're super easy, super cool. It's been very simple to work with them, to figure out things, to ask if we can use this or if we can borrow that or whatever. We're getting the chairs and tables from the church, so that's not an extra cost or an extra thing we have to worry about picking up, dropping off, making sure they don't get broken, whatever the heck else. And it's just, I am still kind of in awe about how flowy and flawless everything has gone thus far. It's super cool. It makes me really happy. It makes me really happy and makes me excited because I was for sure worried. I was like, damn. Okay, so after we had the baby, Alex and I talked, and I was like, when do you want to get married? Like, when do you want to do that? And he was like, I don't know. When do you want to get married? And I've always kind of wanted a December wedding. I've always thought that would be, nice and cool because cold time is my favorite time. I'm wearing a sweater. It's chilly out, and I'm so happy. First sweater of the year. Well, no, first sweater of this cold season because it was pretty cold at the beginning of the year. But Alex asked me when I wanted to get married, and I said I was like kind of like a winter wedding. I've always thought would be cool. And his birthday's in December. My birthday's the beginning-ish of January. So he was like, well, I don't want to get married too close to, birthdays. And I was like, yeah, and then also Christmas. And so we were originally going to go at December 10th or the 17th. But the church isn't available those days. And so December 3rd is our wedding day. And that's even better because it's the beginning of the month, so it's not really too close to Christmas, and we don't have to worry about, people being out of town yet for Christmas or anything like that, which is cool. And everything, it's just all for the bajillionth time. Bajillion is my favorite number. For the bajillionth time, it has all worked out so well and so cool, and I'm just so excited. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Yeah. I was never the one, like the little girl to be like, oh, my wedding, oh, the reception, oh, blah, 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 blah. I just have always wanted to be married, but like never thought about the getting married part, you know? Like I've always just been like, yeah, I want to be married. Yeah, I would love a husband. I've always thought about the being married part, not the getting married part. And when Alex and I started talking about wedding stuff, he was like, well, I've kind of always thought about the getting married part and not like ever being married. I didn't think I was going to get married. Not necessarily. I didn't really know it was going to happen for me, which was really sweet because I didn't know it was going to happen for me this quick. And I am so grateful, especially with the way everything is going in the world right now. I feel so fortunate to have found him and to have a beautiful baby with him and soon get to call him my husband. Ew, what? I have a husband and daughter soon? Not like ew, but like what? That's so weird because I still feel like I'm a kid. I still like kid things. Like I still feel like I'm a child. So to say that I have a daughter and that I'm going to have a husband? What? It's like my inner child. My older sister said this the other day. She was like, my inner child, like whenever I like have to get all my things ready to go and I'm like, oh, I need my bags and my keys and my whatever. My inner child is just so like, you're doing the thing that you always wanted to do when you were a kid. And I was like, oh my God, I feel that same way. Like when I'm going to leave and I have to get the baby and my lunch bag and my water and my purse and my keys, and I have to make sure that I have my purse and my keys because I'm a grown person and I need to have my purse and keys. Like the little kid in me is like, you're doing the thing you always saw your mom do and you get to do it so cool. Also, sorry if you're wearing headphones and that was loud, but the kid in me is very excited. I just feel very happy right now. I wasn't sure how this episode was going to go. I just feel very happy right now. I'm going to cut that part. Cut that. So, yeah, wedding planning is doable. And my friend who's the wedding planner, she said she has seen couples. Before I had the baby, we were hanging out and we were talking about the wedding and stuff. And she said that she's seen multiple couples, or not multiple, she's heard stories and she's had a couple break up just because the wedding planning was going so difficult, or they weren't able to get things that they wanted, or it was like the pandemic they had to move their wedding date or something. She said that she saw a couple break up over planning their wedding, which just like that feels like such a bummer, you know? Like if you can't stick together when you're planning the thing that's going to legally bind you together, why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Like if you can't figure out how you want to get married together without that being an issue, how are you guys going to be married to each other? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know. Like we're doing, because it's a church, the pastor wants to get to know us better. So we're doing a weekly meeting with him leading up to the wedding. So we just met with him again today. Super cool dude. Easy to talk to. He's not too preachy, which is cool. He's just, you know, he's having us read a Christian marriage book and he's having us read parts of the Bible. And, you know, like I'm not a proclaimed Christian or a proclaimed Catholic or a proclaimed anything. I believe in the universe and I believe in energy and I believe things are supposed to happen for a reason and that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I don't believe in God or Jesus or anything like that. I'm just saying that that's not my jam, you know? So we've been doing these meetings with him and it's just cool to do it because at first we were kind of like, I don't know if because he said it was an option. He was like, it's optional, but if you guys want to do premarital counseling or, you know, whatever, I think that, yeah, premarital counseling, we can totally do that. And then we booked the church and whatever. And he goes, okay, cool. So we'll start meeting on Wednesdays. And so we just, you know, started doing it, but that's what she said. But it's been going really well and it's been super cool. And it's cool to talk about the meaning of marriage from a very Christian perspective. The book that that he's having us read, in the first chapter, the guy who wrote it, and the guy wrote it with his wife, the guy who wrote it said like 7 times how painful marriage is, which Alex and I both were confused about what he meant, because marriage is painful. That sounds like marriage is painful. And so then when we met up with the pastor, he was like, so what did you guys think of this chapter? And we're like, well, the guy says that marriage is painful so many times. What's that about? And the way he explained it was that, your partner is the person who can bring you up the most and who can in turn bring you down the most, in a different way than your parents or your siblings or your friends, because they are your partner in, life and love and so many different aspects that they can really shoot you up to the sky and they can really bring your ass right back down. Like if Alex says something to me that I don't want to hear, it can totally bum me out, or vice versa. And if he says something to me that, makes me feel really good, then it brings me up, and it's just cool to hear someone explain what that means from their point of view, because we were both very not into that idea. But when you explain that marriage is painful in the sense that your partner can hurt you just by being the person that you depend on, being the person that you look to as your best friend and partner, and all that stuff, it was just cool to have that perspective be brought in, because I never would have thought of it. Never would have thought of that. I would have just been like, marriage is painful? Yeah, for you, douchebag. Yeah, so yeah. But very excited to get married. It'll be cool. I didn't want to have a reception at first, honestly. And it took Alex a very long time to tell me whether or not he wanted to have one, because I was all about the ceremony part. I was like, the ceremony, walking down the aisle, saying vows, doing all that, that's what's important to me. The reception, we could do it. We could have our wedding reception on our 1-year wedding anniversary and have like a reception party, or we could do it, at the end of January to like celebrate our birthdays all together and kind of do like wedding reception, birthday party, hangout thing instead, And I told him, I was like, it's up to you. If you want to have a reception, you tell me and we'll do it. If you don't, then I'm just going to work on the ceremony, because the reception's not the really important part for me. And so he eventually said, I want to have a reception. I for sure want to have a reception. And so then that's what got the ball rolling. And once he said that, everything else started to work out like super, super well. He's got a bajillion cousins, and one of them does tacos. So we got our food guy, taco vendor. It's perfect. We're going to do it like I can't say some things because some things have to be a surprise. But it's just cool because, there's many, many things that you see everywhere. Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I don't like Facebook anymore because it kind of sucks. But Pinterest and Instagram, I have gotten a couple ideas from there that I like and that we will be applying to the wedding. Here's an idea. I saw this one because I've always liked the disposable camera idea, like having a basket of disposable cameras or putting one on each table so that the guests can take the pictures and then you get them developed later on. But I saw this one idea where the couple gave a disposable camera to everybody in their bridal party, and then they didn't get them developed until their first wedding anniversary. So they didn't get them developed for a year, which I kind of super like that idea. I think that idea is very cool. But because we're going to have kids at the wedding, and they're going to, there's like some little ones like 3 and 4, but then there will be like 11, 12. And I think it would be cool if everybody got to take some pictures And then we waited a year to develop them, because if the little kid gets like a picture from, their perspective, I just think that's a cool idea. So that's something that I'm excited to see. And yeah, it'll just be an experience, and it's cool that I get to have it. It's cool that I get to have it. And it's cool that my little baby gets to be there. Like, I know, get married, then have the baby. But we didn't. We did it in reverse.
That's what she said.
And we are getting married after we had the baby. And it's cool because our baby gets to be in our wedding. And she has got her pretty little dress, and she's going to look all beautiful and be a silly little baby. I think she's going to be crawling by the wedding, but my mom doesn't think so. My mom thinks not. She's trying super hard, though. So she's got a month to get her shit together and get her ass crawling. Because if she can crawl down the aisle, which would be really cute. And I don't care if she'd get dirty. It's not like it's dirty. It's a church, It's carpet. Yeah. But enough about wedding. The weather. Am I right? Rain last night. Cold today. I was driving with the windows down. There's like hairs in my nose. Sorry, I keep wiping my nose. I watch these back and I'm like, ew, stop wiping your nose. But there's hairs, and it's because we have cats, and that is the reason why. So it's colder, right? I'm finally able to wear sweaters, right? Which I love. Having a little baby, though, I got to buy her clothes. I went shopping with her and bought her little baby long sleeve clothes because it's been cold, and we had to buy her pajamas because she likes to kick the blankets off. So we bought her little baby, super duper soft little baby onesies with feets for sleeping. And I had to go and buy her some ones that aren't for sleeping because obviously she's a baby and knows the difference between her pajamas and her regular clothes. But I kind of think she does, because every time I go to put the pajamas on her, like, she knows we're going to bed. She gets all ready for booby and ready for sleepies and cuddles. And in the morning I take them off of her, and she kind of like, I don't know. Maybe she knows, maybe she doesn't. I don't know. But it's cute. Dressing a baby is cute because she's like a little doll. Oh my God, she's so funny. She's so funny. Also, those of you that don't know, today is Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. And yesterday, I guess, was for like little kids who have passed away. So our next door neighbor, they always have their ofrenda, which is where you put. All of you have seen Coco. I'm assuming that you've all seen Coco, so you should know what I'm talking about. I knew about this stuff pre-Coco because downtown Santa Ana life, you know about this just because they used to have the big old Dia de los Muertos parades all in downtown Santa Ana, all on 4th Street and 1st Street, like every year, and we would go. We even went to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery up in LA one year. My older sister got totally freaked out because there was totally a vibe there, which was cool. Like, I mean, I don't know. I believe in spirits and stuff like that because I do. And I think it's ignorant to not believe in spirits and that people have souls, personal opinion. But we went to the Forever Cemetery, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just being in a cemetery, and they party literally all night. Like, they have live bands, they have food vendors, they have booths, they have all the candles and all of the, what are those flowers called? The orange flowers. What are they called? I forgot what they're called, but the orange flowers, I'll put up a thing. And my older sister just totally got freaked out, and we left because she couldn't handle it. We were younger, but still, maybe like 12, 13 she was. So, Yeah. And then in downtown Santa Ana, there's the whole row where everybody has their altars set up. And, you know, some of them have tons and tons of family members. Some of them only have a few. And so our next door neighbor, this morning, I'm feeding the baby and eating breakfast and hanging out. And my next door neighbor knocks on the door, and she came and she gave us all these flowers and a pastry for someone who had passed away in our household, Alex's household. And it was really cool. And so then I set up a little miniature ofrenda and lit candles and incense, and it was just really nice. And I realized that that's something that when we move into our own home, that's something that I want to have. I want to have an area where we can have pictures of family that has passed away and incense, and then, you know, on Dia de los Muertos, give them. And she also gave us fruits. She gave us some of this person's favorite fruits as well as pastries. And I just think it's really cool to have a spot in your home, at least for us, at least for me, to have a spot in your home where you can see your family members who are no longer on this plane, but are still around, you know? And I mean, you know, fuck Disney, but Coco was an awesome movie. When Alex and I watched it, he cried. He cried. It was so sweet. It was so sweet. That movie's just freaking cool. That movie's cool. The whole storyline just seems believable. And also, the whole thing in that movie, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, you're welcome for the early warning. The part where Coco asked the skeleton guy what happened to the one skeleton guy that disappeared, even though he was a skeleton and already in the afterlife, and then he disappeared. Coco's like, what happened to him? And he said, the last person on Earth passed away. So the last person on Earth to remember him died, which means that he moved on to the final plane that we don't even know about, right? And there's this thing in Egyptian culture where there's this whole saying that I'm gonna, mess it up completely, but when the last person on earth to speak your name dies is when you fully get to rest, or when you fully die. And I kind of believe that. I don't see how that, that if somebody remembers you, you're still around. You know what I mean? Like, you could still be around, who knows really, but I feel like if somebody still remembers you, you're still around, And I think putting up pictures and having just a special place for those people to be remembered and to be offered things, or, just taking a moment to look at them or light an incense or light a sage or whatever, is really, really cool and really, really important for us people that are still alive, to acknowledge that and acknowledge them and just keep that memory alive. So I hope you all had a fabulous Dia de los Muertos. I hope you enjoyed Halloween and had a safe Halloween as well. I hope you enjoyed this episode brought to you by me. And I am now going to go eat my In-N-Out because I'm starving. So have a great night, and I will see you all next week. And, I love you, and I love spending time with you guys, and it's just great. It's great. All right, bye.